Let me introduce myself. My name is Igor Borodovsky. I'm a sales and support engineer from the Cheliapes company, and today I'm proudly present the 7th version of Woodwork for Inventor. The long time passed, and it was almost 9 months since the 6th version, and there is a lot of new things released in this 7th version. Let's take a look at what we have. So first of all, let me remind you the main features of Woodwork. As you remember, our system allows you to create parametric 3D skeletons. It allows you to design materials in the way woodworkers do. It also allows you to place and adjust hardware, as well as to create holes for hardware or even wooden joints. Of course, as the result, we will get the bill of material and the drawings automatically. And as you can see, there is two more things shown in red. There is new features of the 7th version, and the first of them is the long-awaited automated CNC functionality, which allows you to create CNC programs for all the assembly components automatically based on geometry. The next important thing is the Vault integration. Some of our customers waited for a long period of time for this option, and finally we get it. But before, let me just remind you that Woodwork 7th version is available for the 3 latest Autodesk Inventor versions, which now includes 2015, 2016 and 2017, standard and professional, standalone and network licenses. Inventor LT is not supported because Inventor LT does not work with the assemblies. Inventor LT is not supported because assemblies is not supported by Inventor LT. And of course, to have a full functionality, you need to have Microsoft Excel installed on your computer. So speaking about the common improvements, of course, the first one, the main one, is the new automated generation of the CNC technologies. As you remember, previously you must open each file separately to create a CNC technology. In the 7th version, you can open an assembly which contains components with the materials, which is important. Because without materials, we does not know what is the grain direction, what is the oversizes, etc. That's why having materials is important for the automated technology generation. At the next step, system analyzes the geometry and capabilities of your CNC machine and automatically suggests the best solution for the CNC technology for all the items in your assembly. And our calculation shows that this new improvement saves up to 80% time on the technology preparation. So now let's take a look at how it happens. And I have a short video for you. So we have an assembly, and there is a tool named status for the first part. And as you can see, those small indicators shows that the part have no technology at the moment. So this red rectangle shows you that there is no CAM technology. And now we can do an auto technology for all the parts from the assembly level. Now system analyzes what is the capability of your CNC machine, what is the geometry and the shape of your parts, what is the oversizes and so on, and regarding all the predefined settings, it generates CNC programs. As you can see, now all the parts are marked in green, which means that all the parts have a CNC technology. There is no need to go through all the parts one by one, because you can do this from assembly level. And as you can see, we have the base point and the tooling operations. So now we can finish the CAM and just ask the system to generate an output. So regarding the default CNC machine set, it automatically generates the CNC programs. As you can see, there is a lot of MPR files generated automatically. So if you have a woodWOP machine, it's only one step left. You can just place this program into the machine and just run it. So now we move to the next question. It's about contour processing. Nowadays, nobody can be impressed by straight contours. Therefore, more and more customers prefer to use to buy furniture from let's say more advanced shape. and in most of the cases this more advanced shape is gathered through the spline usage. So therefore we improved our spline contour processing algorithm, and now our system can process more and more sophisticated geometry of the parts. The next request, which came from our customers, was about double purpose drill tool. In some of the cases you can use the same drilling tool for both the blind and closed drilling. So for instance, this can be a lateral drilling when you use a minifix. So we have a cam and the minifix bolt, and when you drill a hole for the cam, so you can do the drilling from the side without taking care about damaging the laminate layer, because inside of the cam drilling there is no laminate at all. So this can be done by the same tool, because as you know that the ends of the drilling tool, the end of the drill bit, can be different. It can be like a cone or like a straight, depending on what is the purpose of the drilling tool. So in some of the cases you can use the same tool for all the operations of the drilling. Therefore we have this option now available. Technological operations should be done in some sequence, and depending on what operation you are doing, this sequence can vary. So usually you are doing contour milling, then you are doing cutting, and then the drilling from the top and from the sides. So the milling, the cutting, the drilling. So this is the normal operation order. But in some of the cases you may switch the cutting and the milling, then do the grooving and so on. Therefore we have two new options available. First of all, probably those who used Woodwork before remember that there was an option that allows you to change the sequence of the operations. But unfortunately this can be done only for one single phase on a single work plane. Now in the 7th version we are able to do this on all the surfaces that is processed. Moreover, if you're doing automated tooling, you can set operation priority in advance. As you can see on the right hand side there is a dialog window which allows you to do this. So in this case, for instance, for automated technology, we can see that we will start from the cutting, then we will do a milling, grooving, the pocketing, and so on. So this is the most frequent situation, and in some of the cases, of course, you may found that you need to switch them. Now it is possible. Now let's move to the woodWOP improvements. So first of all, what is the woodWOP? For those of you who doesn't know what I'm speaking about, I will just do a short introduction. As you know, CNC machines usually have some front-end application, and HOMAG CNC machines has a woodWOP like a front-end application which can read the data. In fact, it reads the drawings in some format which is ampere, and for this given front-end application we have such improvements. Now we can show edge banding on the part. As you can see, those green lines shows you that this part contains the edge banding. And in fact, it's very important to see what is the edge banding on the part, because if you're speaking about the workpiece, so the same rectangular workpiece can become a door component, or maybe a facade component, or maybe a side panel. You don't know what you have in your hand until you'll start to work with the exact program. That's why it's very important to get some additional information, and in normal circumstances this additional data is gathered from the drawings, but as you can see, as you understand, it's not very straight way to work with the data, and we streamline this process. Now you can see edge banding exactly on the CNC program. So you get those CNC programs automatically, and you will get all the data which helps you to position the part correctly. So the next point, which is also important, is the grain direction. This indicator on the center of the part shows you that the texture goes along the same direction as the edge banding goes in this case. Moreover, On the left-hand side corner, we see a processing stage indicator, which can tell you about the stage of the processing. For instance, the part can be placed in the CNC machine with the edge banding, without edge banding, with oversize or without oversize, etc. And this indicator shows you the exact status of the part you are working on, which is also very important because, as you understand, the size of the part, the size of the workpiece with the edge banding and without edge banding is slightly different. And of course, we have the clamping point indicator, which is this triad on the corner. So all those improvements significantly reduce the chance to get some mistake while the operator of the CNC machine places the workpiece on the laces. The next question is about the postprocessors. So just a few more words about what is the postprocessor and how it works. So the postprocessor works like a translator in between the Woodwork system and the exact CNC machine. So we can automatically analyze the geometry, found if it is possible to produce the geometry according to the CNC configuration, and when we will have all the possible technological operations, now next step is to explain the CNC machine what we want from the machine itself. So what technological operation should be done, and this explanation should be done on different languages depending on the front-end application. And as you can see on the right-hand side, we are working with the AlphaCam laces. We can produce DXFs in a special format for the AlphaCam machines. We can work with the BESA machines by producing 6.3 format files. We also support woodWOP machines from IMA group, and we have an output to the Masterwood from Italian Morbidelli CNC manufacturer. We have output for the woodWOP, which is a German HOMAG CNC machine front-end application, as well as C-Log Format 4, NC Hops, TwinCam, and DXF, like a plain DXF. Of course, this list is constantly growing, and if you saw our previous release, you see that there is a lot of new formats here. But speaking ahead, time to time there is a situation when the postprocessor is not listed in between our supported postprocessors. So in this case, as usually, we suggest you to design to get all the information about the needs of your customer, about the exact producer of the CNC machine, and we can just do CNC postprocessor on demand. Of course, this is the next question about the price and about the time, but it's doable, and we have a lot of situation when there is some special postprocessor should be created, and we deal with that case. Now let's move to the next question about the materials. So we found that some materials should not be processed by CNC algorithm. For instance, the glass panel or plastic panels, some curved metal sheets and so on shouldn't be analyzed in terms of the regular wooden CNC processing. So for them there is another CNC machines for a glass cutting, for a plastic bending, etc. So we don't deal with them. So what is the improvement of the 7th version of Woodwork? We have some special option in the material editor, as you can see on the right, and it allows you to say that this part is not processed by CNC machine, and that's it. Because this part can be made from some special kind of material, like for instance, let's say a bended plastic, and this bended plastic piece is made on another CNC machine. Okay, so the next question, the next big question is the Vault, Autodesk Vault integration. So we can configure the Woodwork for Inventor in that way that when we check in the component into a vault, it automatically links generated CNC programs as well as the drawings, Microsoft Excel specification, and overall dimension of a part, or even each custom, each property which can be calculated by Woodwork for Inventor. Those items can be passed to the vault like a custom properties, and we will see in a moment how it happens. But first, let's speak about some more nuances, more in details. So first of all, Woodwork for Inventor is capable of directly generating specification items of Autodesk Vault Professional, including such information about the part structure like workpiece, like the cover workpiece, the edge banding, the paints, and so on. As you understand, for a plain Inventor, the part which is designed in Inventor is like one single item and nothing more. But for the woodworker's perspective, each of the parts is like a small assembly, and this small assembly is like a set of the components, like the edge banding, like the covers on the workpiece, maybe some paints, lacquers, etc. So all those items can be exploded from the single part and then provided to a Vault Professional. So check-in mechanism interprets standard components of Woodwork for Inventor. What does it mean? Our standard components such as handles, hinges, mini fixes, confer mats, etc. In some of the cases, in most of the cases, they are designed like one single part. Maybe with the exception to the hinges, they are designed like assemblies. But most of the standard components of Woodwork for Inventor is designed like a standard I-parts. But as you understand, those should be shown like assemblies in the specification. Therefore, we have our own method of describing standard components that they will be shown in the specification like they would be designed like assemblies, without a need to make them as the assemblies in fact. And all this information can be passed to the vault in the same way as it's shown in the Woodwork for Inventor bill of material. Next thing is about the categories. As you know, Woodwork operates on such concept like fill material, cover material, etc. So it is possible to link them by the category in Woodwork for Inventor to the Autodesk Vault Professional categories. So in other words, this is another layer of the filtering. This means that you can assign your own categories for the components of Woodwork for Inventor. All the cover materials can be listed like a separate group, all the fill material can be listed like a separate group, etc. And the last but not least is the measure units. Because different countries works with the different measure units, and maybe some international components also have such problem that the components should be measured in different ways. So we can link the measure units of Woodwork for Inventor with the units of the Vault Professional. And as you know, Woodwork for Inventor have a lot of options about how to export the same data, in what way it should be measured in meters, centimeters, and wherever. So those adjustments can be very beneficial when you need to work with the customer from another countries, or maybe with the exact customer who has some special needs about the adjustments of the measure units. So this is just a print screen. As you can see, we have a Woodwork for Inventor on the left, and we have the bolt items listed on the right, and we have the same things here. So just take a look at the dimensions. We have those dimensions listed here, and we can just export them as a custom properties into the vault. So it works like that. So now let's see more in details how it happens. And there is two integration levels in the Project Explorer and the Item Master. So in the Project Explorer, we can define our own custom properties, like in this case the length, width and the thickness, and we can pass to them the data calculated by Woodwork for Inventor system. So you probably know about the keywords like item length, item width and etc. As you can see, in this case we set up the Woodwork in that way that the item length will be passed to the length, to the property named length, item width parameter will be passed to the custom property named width, etc. And we can do the mapping in the Vault to get those properties in Autodesk Vault Professional. So once the mapping is done from the Woodwork side, we can just go to the Vault Project Explorer and create new properties in the Vault. In this case, as you can see, there is a property named like length, which is numeric, and we can just do a relation with the custom property named length. As you remember, Woodwork can calculate a lot of the data, and we can take the data that we need, place this data in the custom properties, and then do the mapping between the custom properties of part or assembly component and Vault definitions. And in fact, now it's done, so Vault is ready to check in Woodwork for Inventor properties. So the next thing is about the file linkage control. Because you can link your files to the your additional files to the model file. So in this case, we can link a CNC file for the part to the part file itself. To do this, in the CNC output, there is additional option named like link generated files to the source model, and it allows you to do this. So the next question is about the PDFs. A lot of the customers uses PDFs like the additional source of the data, because it allows you to just use some PC on the workshop, just open PDFs, and you can always be sure that you are doing the processing in the right way. So we can link exported PDF files to the source drawing. And the last but not least, we can link Excel file to the assembly. So the assembly itself can also contain embedded Excel file, which will show all the data about the structure of this assembly. And now let's see how it is working in the real situation. Okay, just give me a second. Oops. So we have an assembly. Now let's check this assembly into the Vault. So it's normal check-in procedure, with one exception. We asked about to link related files, which in fact is the drawing. And as you can see now, system puts all the files from this assembly, including drawings and additional information, into the Vault. Now if we will take a look at the project, so here we have all the components including a PDF and XLS document. So let's open ADV file. As you can see, this ADV file contains PDF linked to the drawing, and the part contains MPR file linked to the part file. Now let's take a look at the assembly itself, and assembly contains the XLS embedded document, so which is very convenient. In other words, all the information is shown into the vault. Now let's filter our data to see only the parts, and as you can see, each of the parts contains the length, width, and the thickness information gathered as the custom properties. Sorry. So let's move to the item master integration level and see what we can do at this step. So first of all, as you remember, I explained you that pure Inventor without add-on interprets each part like single item, but it's not enough for the woodworkers, and that's why, because we have covers, we have the workpiece, we have the edge banding, etc., and all this data should be also shown in Vault. As you can see, the same model but exploded in Woodwork for Inventor system should be presented in this way. As you can see, we have the veneer on the top layer, we have the core material, we have the edge banding and the veneer on the back side, and all them together formed our part. So we should get such information about the part, like a fill workpiece, like the cover workpiece, the next cover workpiece, etc. So all the workpieces should be listed. And speaking about the dimensions of them, as you understand, the size of each one can be different too. Because for the core material you can set 1/over sizes, for the veneer you can have another over sizes options, and so on. So all this information should be calculated. So speaking about the item master options, we can relate categories of Woodwork for Inventor properties of the part with the Vault categories. As you can see, we have categories on the left, and we do a mapping. So in other words, each of the parts can be shown like a composite thing in a Vault system. And the next step, we can relate Vault item properties with Woodwork for Inventor bill of material properties. So in other words, we have a keywords of Woodwork like item length, width, and so on, and we have some Vault properties like length, width, thickness, and so on. So the properties that we defined, and now we can just do a mapping. We can say that item length will be passed to the length property in a Vault. And the last but not least is units. So as I already mentioned, different companies measure the length of the part, the volume of the parts, different measure units. Therefore, we should be sure that we must be sure that we have done the mapping correctly. That's why we have additional settings which allows you to do a mapping of the measure units between the Vault and Woodwork for Inventor. Now it's done, so Woodwork can pass all the data for the Vault, and Vault is ready to receive items from Woodwork. Let's see how it happens in the real situation. So we have the same assembly. We can generate the bill of material, and as you can see, we have an option to do a mapping between the Vault and our system. So we can just commit items, and now all the items, including the information about each kind of the cover, is passed to the Vault system. In the item master, let's refresh the view, and we have all the things shown here. So of course we need to do some customization to show the data in a clear way. For instance, we can filter by the category. As you can see, when we filter it by the category, we can just conveniently see the items by their type. So in this case, this is the cover workpiece list. Oh, sorry. Okay, and okay, so we have a nice grouping by the type of the component, which allows you to easily navigate through the structure of our part. Okay, so each of the items shows his parent. So if we will select some cover, it shows when it gets from, and as well we get the information about the additional data. It's like a container which contains all the data that you need. So each part is combined from some workpieces, and we have an option to see its quantity in a convenient way. Okay, and we can adjust what we see in a vault, which properties will be shown, like the length, the name, etc. So we can define what kind of the data will be shown. So as you can see, we can easily customize fields if needed, and then we can see the information about each item in a bill of materials of the vault, which is also very convenient. You don't need to open the items separately, because you can just mark it and you will see all the data about it. And now let's move to the next question about an autoplot. So the autoplot is the tool which allows you to generate a set of drawings in one click of the mouse. So what we have here. So first of all, we have updated information about the cover, which means that if you remove or add some cover on the model, after refreshing the drawing, it is synchronized and shown the component in the exact condition. So if you remove the cover, it disappears from the drawing, and vice versa. Materials can be also dynamically refreshed on the drawing refresh. So if you change the material configuration, so if it differs from the moment when the drawing was initially generated, and the values in the title block and the labels will be updated automatically when you update the drawing. And the last but not least is the dimension. As you know, Autoplot tool allows you to export the range box dimensions. Don't make a mistake, this is not the dimension that you place on the drawing, is the range box dimension generated automatically. So those also check if there is a changes in the model on the moment that you update the drawing. And if the system see the changes in the model, it automatically updates the values on your drawings. And now let's move to the next point about the Skeleton DressUp improvements. As you know, this is the great tool which simplifies the design process and allows you to make a lot of routine operations quickly. So let's see what we have here. So first of all, our customer requested about the functionality to create panels on the intersection with the skeleton and the work plane. So now you can do this. As you can see, I get this triangle by generating the work plane on 3 points. And moreover, we can trim the panels using the work planes. And also the trimming operation have another option which allows you to pick the trimming point. And last but not least, now you can control the visibility of the components in more easy way. So we can hide them all at once, or show them all at once by their type. So let's see how it works in the real case. So we can just hide or show the skeleton bodies, and maybe I will show you this once again. So as you can see, there is no skeleton on the on the design view. And now we want to make some skeletons visible again. And now it shows like some previews of the skeleton bodies, which is still hidden. Yes, but you can select which of them will be turned back on. You can just select this one and say, okay, I want to see it, and it's visible now. Now we have the cross section between the work plane and the skeleton, and we get the new plane in the new board in the intersection. Okay, so let's move to another skeleton. And let's use the DressUp function with the planes. And that's it, so we have the separators in between. And now let's say that we want to create a shelf in between. So now it's a tricky situation because we need to cut the panels depending on the geometry that you selected. And as you can see on the top, we made a cutting. So there is no need to do multiple operations because you can do it at once. Okay, and one more trick is about generating the grooves. So as you can see, we just move the panel and we can do a grooving. Okay, and those features allows you to design in a little bit more streamlined way. The next question is about the user interface. By designing the 7th version of Woodwork, we try to make it as user-friendly as possible, and we refined some menu items. We tried to make it more intuitive, and also we put some interactive commands. For instance, when you do a edge banding, the often operation is about to decide in which side it should go. Should be like oriented inward or outward. So you can just click on the arrow to adjust the position. And also we simplify the access to frequently used commands. Some of them, for instance, the materials, can be reached through the new menu items on the ribbon. And now let's see how it works. So let's say that we want to adjust the frequently used materials, which in fact is like laminated board, veneer, or edge banding. So we can pick which items will be shown in the frequently used materials. As you can see, you can add some more buttons if you want to. Now let's speak about the cover position. So we have some edge banding, we can do a highlight, and as you can see, there is arrows which indicates the direction of the edge banding. To change the direction, it's enough to only click on an arrow, and that's it. So the direction switch from the internal to the outward directed, and vice versa. Now we can just apply the changes, and that's it. So let's speak about the other improvements. So first of all, speaking about the migration, we migrate the setting files from the 6th version to the 7th version automatically. I'd like to emphasize the word settings. We don't migrate your projects because maybe it's not needed and so on. It's up to you. You can use Autodesk Inventor tools to migrate the project from one version to another. But speaking about the setting files, it happens in that way. We have the old setting files, which is database files like materials SDF and routers SDF, and we can migrate them to the new version and they automatically get the new name, like materials migrated and the router is migrated. It of course depends on the initial name that you gave to the SDF files, but you can clearly see that in a new location they appear with the migrated, with the word migrated, and those automatically are restructured to the way that Woodwork version 7 is able to read them. And the setting file is also copied. It's like Woodwork for Inventor setting file, but as you understand, the previous version has less settings than the new one. That's why this setting file is automatically filled up with the new options, and those get the default value automatically. So all the new things will work, and all the old settings will gather it from the previous installation, which is a very cool trick. Let's move to the next question about the performance. We get some complaints from our customers about that the sculpt operation takes some time to be done. And of course it's true, because we found some situation that customers are working with the assemblies of several thousand components. That's natural, that there is some time needed for a calculation, but we found a way to improve the sculpting or resculpting operation, and it happens much faster now. Some data from a system is used multiple times. That's why we improve the data caching algorithms, and the frequently used data is cached in the operating memory, and it can be reached faster. So general stability of the system and the performance of the algorithm was refined and improved, and we will get more smooth user experience. The keywords. You know that our system operates with the keywords when you need to export the data to a bill of material or to a vault and so on. So we have the new properties of item described. Like, you can get the information about the parent of the component using some new keywords, and also you can get the information about the CNC technology applied to the part also using new keywords. Of course, we understand that some legacy data may be needed by the customer. Therefore, we support all the keywords as usual. And we're moving to the conclusion. I have some more important information for you to tell, and it's about the launch process itself. So since this day, trial is available on the web page of Woodwork for Inventor and user accounts and the VAR accounts. The next day, VAR can purchase Woodwork for Inventor version 7. So from tomorrow, you can just do this. Speaking about the subscribers, tomorrow they will find the new serial numbers for their 7th version of Woodwork for Inventor. In 2 upcoming months, we will release the user manual for the 7th version, and we will have the first software update, including some new features like the whole table. This whole table was requested by our partner from the USA, Steve Widom. It will be released in this update. Of course, if some improvements will be needed in the software, they will be also placed in this update. So that is all the things I'd like to share with you today, and this my presentation is over. So I'd like to thank you very much. If you have some more questions and just wanted to speak with us, please feel free to visit our webpage or contact me directly. Thank you.